Congratulations on your decision to break free from tobacco. This is a big step, and we want to work with you to support your commitment to quit and to help you stay quit. I'm Kathy Schola-Gerdes, the Health Behavior Coordinator at the Minneapolis VA Healthcare System. Welcome to Class 1, entitled Taking the First Steps. In this module, we'll cover reasons for quitting, reasons for use, barriers to quitting, tobacco and your body, and that includes how tobacco affects your body and how your body heals. We'll talk about recovery after quitting. We'll talk about scheduling and preparing for a quit date and how you can find assistance 24/7. So let's begin with some reflection. Think about why you want to quit. Becoming tobacco-free takes some work and planning. It helps to lay a solid foundation by thinking about what brought you to the point of commitment. The first step in quitting is to determine why you want to quit. What are some reasons for you? Do you want to see improvement in your breathing? Are you concerned about reducing your risk of cancer? How about reducing your risk of heart attack and stroke? Do you need to improve circulation in your arms and legs? Are you struggling with COPD or the risk of other lung issues? What about getting rid of that smell of tobacco? Do you want to get rid of tobacco smell on your breath, your clothing, or your hair? Maybe you look forward to having your food taste better, and quitting will help to restore your sense of taste and smell. Are you concerned about setting a better example for your children or grandchildren? What about feeling more in control of your life, rather than being controlled by your cravings for tobacco? This is your opportunity to determine what is motivating you to quit. Please turn to page 2 in the workbook and review the reasons listed on this page. Check those that apply to you. You may want to add some of your own in the space provided at the bottom of the page. It's also helpful to think about why you use tobacco. Tobacco use is linked to some behaviors that are closely related. First, it helps to understand that tobacco use is a learned behavior that developed from watching and imitating things in your environment. Second, we also need to recognize that people use tobacco due to triggered behavior. This means that there are activities in your life that occur at certain times of the day that may make you think about using tobacco. What are some things that happen during the day that make you want to use? Maybe when you get up in the morning, after meals, during breaks, when you're driving or talking on the phone. Maybe when you're drinking coffee, before bed, or when you're feeling stressed. Maybe emotions like feeling anxious, angry, or impatient. Maybe it's just when you're feeling bored. The Why I Use Tobacco test that we sent to you in a link will help. People have different reasons for using tobacco, and this test is very helpful in understanding your reasons. The results will be used again in another class when we work on the types of things that trigger tobacco use for you. So please take a few moments to complete the test. Now you can determine the top 2 reasons for your tobacco use based on your highest scores. You've just made a few lists, and it helps to compare them. The first list you completed reminds you of why you want to quit. And now compare that to the reasons you use on the tobacco list you just completed. Do your reasons to quit outweigh your reasons for using tobacco? Review the Deciding to Quit handout and rate how important it is for you to quit. This handout also provides the opportunity to rate your confidence in your ability to quit. Do you think that you're ready to quit? If so, let's take the next step. What gets in the way of quitting? What are the barriers? For any of us, the decision to make a change in our behavior is challenging. There are barriers to changing behavior, and it's important to recognize what gets in the way of quitting tobacco. Have you tried to quit in the past? If so, then think about what caused you to relapse. Anything that stands in the way of your efforts to quit can cause difficulties and can interfere with your success. This could be a barrier you need to address in your quit attempt. It might help to think of a barrier as a speed bump. If you are able to address each barrier, you can increase your chances of quitting tobacco. You can also think of barriers as a back door that you leave open just to justify your return to tobacco. To stop for good, it's important to close all of those back doors so that you have no reason to return to tobacco. Barriers might include things like, I've tried to quit in the past, but it never worked. I live with other people who still are using tobacco, or I'm concerned about weight gain. So please review the handout, Barriers to Quitting, and check the barriers that apply to you. You might want to address these barriers by writing down any thoughts you have about dealing with them. You can see one example of dealing with a barrier, buying a roommate cigarettes, if you go to this video.
Somehow, one day moved to 2 days, to 3 days, to a week. And that was so important to me to have these important calendar periods. But one day I was going riding, and my roommate said to me, "Do me a favor, pick up a pack of cigarettes on my way out the door." And I was like, he's saying it to me like that, like I'll just go and do that. But I can't involve myself in your addiction because it's dragging me back to it, I don't want to carry around cigarettes. I don't want to touch them. So I just told him, no, I'm not going to do that. I didn't leave and not do it. I just told him, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm trying to quit smoke. And that had like a funny effect on me. It actually made me proud of myself because him seeing that I didn't want the cigarette around me meant that I was really becoming a non-smoker.
Now we're going to focus on tobacco in your body. There are a lot of effects that tobacco causes. Do you know how it affects your body? Well, tobacco use affects many parts of the body, and sometimes awareness of these factors can help you in your efforts to quit. On pages 8 and 9 in your workbook, there's an explanation of the effects of tobacco use on your body. Each problem associated with tobacco use is described head to toe. As you can see, tobacco use affects your head, lungs, heart, stomach, pancreas, circulation, bones, and even the genitals and urinary system. In addition to the impact on our bodies, secondhand smoke affects others in our environment. Adults exposed to smoke can have breathing problems and higher chances of getting heart disease and cancer. Children exposed to smoke can have problems with ear and lung infections, asthma, and dental cavities. Even pets that are exposed to smoke develop problems with oral cancer, lung cancer, and lymphomas. But you do heal after you quit, and sometimes this information can feel very discouraging and a bit hopeless. The good news is that your body will work to recover from the damage once you quit. After you quit, your body begins healing almost immediately. Pages 9 and 10 in the workbook can help you to see how that healing begins, even minutes after you quit. The first 20 minutes after you quit, your blood pressure drops to normal, your pulse rate drops to normal, the temperature in your hands and feet returns to normal. The first 8 hours after you quit, carbon monoxide levels drop to normal, oxygen levels drop to normal. After 48 hours, your nerve endings start regrowing. Your ability to taste and smell improves. The first 2 to 12 weeks, circulation improves, breathing improves, and walking becomes easier after you quit. After 1 to 9 months, coughing and sinus congestion decreases, lungs self-clean and energy improves, shortness of breath decreases. After 1 year of quitting, excess coronary risk decreases by half. After a person quits for 5 years, stroke risk is reduced to that of a non-smoker. Risk of throat and mouth cancers are reduced to half that of a smoker. 10 years after quitting, life expectancy is comparable to a non-smoker, and the risk of cancers decreases. 15 years after you quit, the risk of coronary disease is comparable to that of a non-smoker. So take a moment to reflect. What changes do you hope to see in your body? Maybe you'd like to write down what comes to mind. So we're going to talk about scheduling a quit date. Why set a quit date? We've covered a lot already as we've talked about taking the first steps. But our next step in this process is to set a quit date, and it's important to do that. Setting a quit date helps you firm up the commitment you've already made. Picking the right date is important so that your efforts will be supported and successful. You'll need time to plan and prepare, but waiting too long sometimes tends to weaken our motivation to follow through. The best advice is to set a quit day within the next 30 days and plan for that. So we focused on the why, set a quit date. Now let's talk about how. You might be wondering, how do I plan for my quit day? Well, here are some important reminders about setting the date. Look at the calendar and find a date in the near future that looks fairly open and free of stress. It will be important to focus your efforts to quit. Setting a quit date that you think will be less stressful will give you the best advantage. Don't set the date prior to being prepared and ready, but then again, don't wait too long to set the date. Starting before you've done some good preparation can cause you to slip, and then you'll feel badly about your decision. But waiting too long may cause you to lose some of the energy and motivation you currently feel. So pick a quit date in which you'll be best supported by the people who love you. Make sure you have the support of those who care about you, and make it a special day. Write it down. Write your quit day on the calendar and let people who know you support you. Make it special and change your patterns. Do things that don't relate to the use of tobacco. Go out to eat or do something nice for yourself that will make the day meaningful and memorable. Based on these factors, what's the date you've chosen? Please write it on the calendar and make a note of it where you'll be likely to be reminded of the date. You may also want to develop an emergency kit for a car ride or an upcoming vacation. The emergency kit can offer you some great substitutes so that you don't fall into the old habit of using tobacco. Suggestions for the kit can be found on page 13 of the workbook. So for example, I usually smoke when I'm done eating a meal. Instead of that, you could chew some sugar-free gum. See what you come up with so that you have some good strategies in place. Now I'd like to talk about assistance. You know, you can find 24/7 assistance for your efforts to quit. You've come a long way, you've made a commitment, you've made a plan to quit. You've even set a day. Now we want to make sure that you have the support you need. There are many options for assistance that can be accessed 24/7. There are many to choose from, but here are some great options. Smoke-Free Vet is a mobile text messaging service. You can receive supportive messages, tips, and reminders. To get started, text the word VET to 47848. Quit Vet is a service designed for veterans. If you want to talk to a quit smoking counselor for individualized help, you can call 1-855-QUIT-VET. Call 1-855-784-8838. Stay Quit Coach is a mobile phone app for iPhones that provides support and helps you track your progress. And there's a link that you can find in the materials that were sent to you. You know, at the VA, we are committed to your success in your efforts to quit using tobacco. We'll review a number of strategies in this course. Many veterans have found help by using medication to help them quit. Have you considered how medications may help you? The next class will offer some options that you might find helpful.